everyone. Welcome back to Simple English Talks. I'm so happy you're here with us today.
Hey there. Great to see you all again. How's your day going so far?
It's going really well. You know, I was just thinking about something that happened yesterday. I was talking to my neighbor, and she said the weather was very hot. And I thought, there's a much better word for that.
Oh, that's such a great observation, and it connects perfectly to our topic today. We're going to talk about something that will instantly make your English sound more advanced and natural.
That's right. Today we're learning about what native speakers say instead of very. By the end of this episode, you'll have at least 20 powerful words you can use to replace very and sound much more fluent.
And the best part is, these words are not complicated. They're actually simple words that native speakers use every single day. You just need to learn which ones to use when.
Here's a question for you before we start. Do you use very a lot when you speak English? Be honest. Write in the comments how many times you think you say very in a day. We've all been there.
Yes, don't be shy about it. And while you're thinking about that, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Simple English Talks. It really helps us keep making these episodes for you.
All right, let's jump into it. Where do we start?
Let's start with the basic concept. Why do native speakers avoid saying very all the time? And what do they use instead?
Okay, so here's the foundational idea. Very is not a bad word. It's perfectly fine to use it. But when you use very too much, your English can sound a little simple or repetitive. Native speakers often replace very plus an adjective with a single, stronger word.
The structure is simple. Instead of saying very plus adjective, you use one powerful adjective. For example, instead of very big, you say enormous or huge. Instead of very small, you say tiny. One word does the job of two.
Let me give you some everyday examples from my life. Yesterday I said to my friend, "I'm very tired," but what I should have said was, "I'm exhausted." Exhausted means very tired. It's one word, and it sounds so much stronger.
That's a perfect example. Let me give you 3 more. Instead of very hungry, say starving. I'm starving. Instead of very happy, say thrilled or delighted. I'm thrilled about the news. Instead of very sad, say heartbroken or devastated.
Haha. Oh, I use starving all the time. When I come home from work and I haven't eaten all day, I walk in the door and say, "I'm starving." It's such a natural thing to say.
And that's the key. These aren't fancy academic words. They're words native speakers use in daily conversation. You probably already know many of them. You just need to get in the habit of using them.
Here's another personal example. Instead of saying the movie was very good, I could say it was excellent, or fantastic, or amazing. Each of those words is more interesting than very good.
Let's practice together. I'll say a phrase with very, and you try to think of the stronger word. Ready? Very cold.
Freezing. The water is freezing. That's what I said this morning when I jumped in the pool.
Very angry.
Furious. My boss was furious when I missed the deadline. That's a strong word.
Very scared.
Terrified. I'm terrified of spiders. I can't even look at pictures of them.
Now, listeners, your turn. What's the stronger word for very pretty? Can you think of it? Say it out loud right now.
Beautiful or gorgeous. Those are much better than very pretty. Now, let's talk about the negative forms. You can also use these strong adjectives in negative sentences. I'm not exhausted. It's not freezing today. She wasn't furious, just a little annoyed.
Can you try making a negative sentence with a strong adjective? Think of something you're not. For example, I'm not starving right now because I just ate lunch. What about you?
So to summarize this first section, instead of using very plus an adjective, try to find one strong adjective that means the same thing. It makes your English sound more natural and advanced. And these words are already in your vocabulary, you just need to use them.
Now let's build on this idea. There's another group of very replacements that native speakers use all the time, and these ones might surprise you.
Oh, this is interesting. So we've talked about replacing very plus adjective with a single strong adjective. But there's another pattern. Sometimes native speakers use completely different expressions to avoid saying very.
Exactly. Let me introduce some phrases that replace very in everyday conversation. These are expressions you'll hear all the time if you listen to native speakers.
Give me some examples. I know I use these without even thinking about it.
Okay, here's a common one. Instead of saying very expensive, you might say it costs a fortune, or it's pricey. Instead of very cheap, you say it's a bargain, or it's dirt cheap.
Oh, I use those all the time. Just last week I was shopping and I found this jacket. It was a bargain. That sounds so much better than saying it was very cheap. Very cheap almost sounds like it's bad quality.
That's a great point. Sometimes very plus an adjective can sound a bit negative, even when you don't mean it that way. If you say the food was very cheap, it might sound like the food wasn't good. But if you say it was a bargain or it was affordable, it sounds positive.
Let's do a dialogue demonstration. I'll be a shopper, and you be my friend. Show me how to use these naturally.
Okay, hey, I love your new shoes. Were they expensive?
No, they were very cheap. Wait, they were a bargain. I got them on sale.
Wow, they look great. Much better to say they were a bargain. It sounds like you got a good deal, not like the shoes are low quality.
Let's compare formal and informal situations. In a business meeting, you wouldn't say something is dirt cheap. That's too casual. You'd say, it's very affordable, or it's cost-effective.
That's such an important distinction. Dirt cheap is for talking with friends. Affordable is for professional situations. The meaning is similar, but the tone is completely different.
Here's a quick practice activity. I'll describe a situation, and you choose the better replacement for very. Your friend cooked dinner, and it was very tasty. What could you say instead?
Delicious, or mouth-watering, or even just so good. All of those sound more natural than very tasty.
Now, specific tips for you. First, when you learn a new adjective, learn its very replacement at the same time. For example, when you learn big, also learn huge and enormous. Second, watch for these words when you're watching English shows. You'll start noticing them everywhere. Third, practice one new word each day. Just one.
Those are excellent tips. I'd add a fourth one. Keep a list on your phone. Every time you catch yourself wanting to say very, write down what you wanted to say and then find the stronger word later. It's a great learning habit.
And please, write in the comments. Tell us 3 very phrases you use often and what you're going to say instead from now on. For example, I used to say very tired. Now I say exhausted. What are yours?
So to review this section, we learned that sometimes the replacement for very isn't just a single adjective. It might be a whole phrase like costs a fortune or a bargain. And the formality level matters. Choose your words based on who you're talking to.
All right, we've covered 2 big areas. Now let's go even further. This third use is really going to help you sound natural in everyday situations. We're talking about very, with adverbs and verbs.
Ooh, this is a good one. Because most people only think about replacing very before adjectives. But native speakers also avoid saying very before adverbs and even some verbs.
Exactly. Think about how often you might say very quickly, or very slowly, or very carefully. There are better, more natural ways to express those ideas.
Let me give you detailed examples with context. Instead of very quickly, you can say rapidly or in a flash. The car moved rapidly down the street. He finished his homework in a flash.
Oh, I love in a flash. It's so expressive. I use it when something happens surprisingly fast. I blinked, and the weekend was over in a flash. It's much more interesting than saying the weekend went very quickly.
Here's another one. Instead of very carefully, you can say cautiously or with great care. She opened the door cautiously. He handled the antique vase with great care.
Let's talk about politeness and naturalness. Sometimes using very can actually make you sound less polite. If you say to someone, "You're walking very slowly," that sounds like a complaint. But if you say, "No rush, take your time," that's much kinder.
That's such a good point. Very often amplifies the negative feeling. "You're very late" sounds much worse than "you're a bit late" or "you're running behind." The tone and delivery really matter.
Here's a tone tip. When you're giving feedback, avoid very with negative words. Instead of "you're very wrong," say "I see it differently." Instead of "that's very bad," say "that could use some improvement." It's not just about vocabulary, it's about being kind.
Let's do a real-life practice situation. You're at work, and a colleague gives a presentation that's very long. You want to give feedback without hurting their feelings. What do you say?
Instead of "your presentation was very long," I'd say, "Your presentation had a lot of great information. Maybe we could trim it down a bit for next time." No very, no long, much more diplomatic.
That's perfect. Now, listeners, your turn to practice with me. I'm going to say a sentence with very, and you respond out loud with a better version. Ready? I'm very interested in this topic.
I'm fascinated by this topic. Or I'm really into this topic. Both are more natural.
She runs very fast.
She runs like the wind. Or she's a speedy runner. So many better options.
Now I want you to create your own. Think of something you do very often. Got it? Now say it without using very. I do it frequently. Or, I do it all the time. Speak it out loud right now.
Yes, out loud practice is so important. These words need to feel comfortable in your mouth. The more you say them, the more natural they'll become.
So to review this section, very isn't just replaced before adjectives. You can also replace it before adverbs and verbs with more expressive words and phrases. And sometimes, the kindest thing is to avoid very altogether in negative feedback.
Okay, now we need to have an honest conversation about mistakes. And trust me, I have made all of these.
Me too. This is a judgment-free zone. Let's talk about the common mistakes learners make when trying to avoid using very.
The first common mistake is using a strong adjective that's too strong for the situation. For example, if you say "I'm starving," that means you're extremely hungry. But if you're just a little hungry, starving is too dramatic. You'll sound like you're exaggerating all the time.
Here's the incorrect and correct version. Incorrect, "I'm starving, let's get a snack." Correct, "I'm a bit hungry, let's get a snack." Starving is for when you haven't eaten all day, not for when you just want a small bite.
The second mistake is mixing up similar strong adjectives. For example, very interested becomes fascinated or intrigued. But fascinated and intrigued have slightly different meanings. Fascinated means you're amazed and curious. Intrigued means you're curious, but maybe a little suspicious.
Why is this wrong? Because using the wrong strong adjective can change the meaning of what you're trying to say. Better alternative? Learn the exact meaning of strong adjectives before using them. Don't just memorize a list.
Haha. Oh, here's a funny example from my life. I once told someone I was terrified of their cooking. I meant to say, I was very excited about their cooking. Terrified means very scared. Their face was priceless.
That's hilarious. And such a good lesson. Terrified and excited are very different feelings. The third mistake is forgetting that some strong adjectives have specific partners. We say absolutely exhausted, not very exhausted. We say completely devastated, not very devastated.
This is a great point. Once you use a strong adjective, you usually don't pair it with very. You use absolutely, completely, or totally. So it's absolutely freezing, not very freezing. It's completely ridiculous, not very ridiculous.
Let's practice this. I'll give you a sentence with a mistake, and you fix it. I'm very starving right now.
That should be "I'm absolutely starving," or just "I'm starving." Very starving sounds strange, because starving is already extreme.
The movie was very terrifying.
The movie was absolutely terrifying. Or just terrifying. Once you upgrade to the strong adjective, drop the very.
Now, listeners, what's wrong with this sentence? The test was very impossible. How would you fix it? Write the corrected version in the comments.
And here's the most important reassurance. It takes time to get these right. Even advanced learners mix them up sometimes. The fact that you're aware of very and trying to replace it is already a huge step forward.
Absolutely. Be kind to yourself. Every mistake is a chance to learn. I still catch myself saying very sometimes, and English is my first language.
So we've covered 3 common mistakes. Using overly dramatic adjectives for small situations, mixing up similar strong adjectives, and incorrectly pairing very with already strong adjectives. Now you know what to watch out for.
And now it's time to put everything together with some interactive practice. This is the fun part.
I love this part. All right, we're going to do a choose the better sentence activity. I'll give you 2 options, and you pick which one sounds more natural. Ready?
Let's do it. First situation. You want to tell your friend the concert was amazing. Option 1. The concert was very good. Option 2. The concert was incredible. Which sounds more like a native speaker?
Definitely option 2. Incredible is so much stronger and more expressive than very good. Very good is fine, but incredible shows real enthusiasm.
Next situation. You're at a job interview, and they ask about your skills. Option 1. I'm a very hard worker. Option 2. I'm a dedicated worker. Which sounds more professional?
Option 2 sounds much more professional. Dedicated is a strong, specific word. Very hard worker is fine, but dedicated shows a richer vocabulary. In an interview, that matters.
Now your turn, listeners. You're describing the weather. Option 1. It's very cold outside. Option 2. It's freezing outside. Choose one and say it out loud with feeling.
Great practice. Now let's add some variation. How would you say it if you were being dramatic? I'm absolutely freezing. How would you say it if you were just making conversation? It's pretty cold out there. See how tone and context change everything?
Here's another one. Your friend asks how your vacation was. Option 1. It was very relaxing. Option 2. It was blissful. Which paints a better picture?
Blissful is beautiful. It means perfectly happy and peaceful. Very relaxing is good, but blissful makes me imagine lying on a beach with no worries at all.
One more practice. Create your own very replacement for this situation. You saw a very funny movie. What do you say instead? Hilarious? Brilliant? Write your answer in the comments.
And here's my challenge for you. For the rest of today, try to catch yourself every time you want to say very. Stop, think for a second, and find a stronger word. It might feel slow at first, but with practice, it'll become automatic.
That's such good advice. The goal isn't to never say very again. The goal is to have options. Sometimes very is the right word. But now you have a whole toolbox of stronger, more expressive words to choose from.
Wow, what an episode! Let's do a quick summary of everything we learned today about replacing very.
We covered 3 main areas today. First, replacing very plus adjective with a single strong adjective. Exhausted instead of very tired. Freezing instead of very cold. Thrilled instead of very happy.
Second, we talked about replacing very with completely different expressions. A bargain, instead of very cheap, costs a fortune instead of very expensive, and we learned that formality matters when choosing these phrases.
Third, we explored replacing very before adverbs and verbs. In a flash instead of very quickly, with great care instead of very carefully. And we talked about how avoiding very can actually make you sound more polite.
And we covered the common mistakes too, not using overly dramatic words for small situations, not mixing up similar strong adjectives, and not pairing very with already strong words.
I'm so proud of everyone who practiced along with us today. Remember, the words you choose shape how people understand you. Strong, specific words make you sound confident and fluent.
Every time you replace very with a better word, you're leveling up your English. It's such a simple change, but it makes such a big difference. You can do this.
So here's a question to think about. Which very replacement from today's episode are you going to start using first? Is it starving? Exhausted? Freezing? Tell us in the comments.
Yes, we want to know. And while you're there, share one very phrase you used to say and what you're going to say now. We read every comment and we love seeing your progress.
If you found this episode helpful, please hit that like button. It helps other English learners discover simple English talks. And subscribe if you haven't already. We make new episodes every week, just for you.
Share this episode with a friend who says very a lot. You know who I'm talking about. Practice replacing very together. Make it a game. See who can go the longest without saying it.
That's a brilliant idea. Learning is always more fun with friends. Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Keep practicing, stay curious, and be proud of how far you've come.
You're doing amazing work. Every new word you learn brings you closer to your goals. We believe in you completely.
See you next time on Simple English Talks. Bye, everyone.